everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So we are doing a build today. Not gonna tell you what yet, but I mean you can see it in the title. Okay, you can see it in the title. But before we get started with the build, I'd like to say a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Surfshark. I have worked with Surfshark so many times in the past, but let me just tell you about what they are. So Surfshark is a VPN service, and if you're unsure of what a VPN is, it stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a tool that you can use to basically add an extra layer of security if you're ever on public Wi-Fi. So if you're working at a cafe, or if you're sitting on a train or something like that, you can use it to protect yourself from, for example, identity theft. And it's also usable at home and not just for extra online protection. So you know how Netflix libraries differ from country to country? So for example, we don't have Criminal Minds on Danish Netflix, but I know for a fact that they have it on US Netflix. And the other way around, I know that The Office, the US version, was taken down from US Netflix a while ago. However, it's still on Danish Netflix. So say that you're sitting in the US and you really want to watch The Office, but you don't want to subscribe to a ton of different streaming services, what you can do is use Surfshark to change your location from the US to Denmark. And that way you can get access to all the content that we have on Danish Netflix that you don't have in the US. So essentially, because there are so many locations to choose from, you can expand your Netflix library like crazy. And by extension, also avoid having to subscribe to all the different streaming services. And it also works on different platforms than just Netflix, such as YouTube, for example. Surfshark is available for both your computer and iOS and Android phones, and you can even get it for PlayStation and Xbox. They have 24/7 live customer support, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and right now during Black Friday week, if you use my code Aveline, you get 83% off your subscription plus an extra 4 months for free. So if you're looking for more entertainment without having to subscribe to so many different streaming services, or maybe you just want extra online protection in your day-to-day, I highly recommend checking out Surfshark. I have worked with them a lot in the past. It's my own preferred VPN as well. I've never had issues with them, and they have many locations to choose from as well, so I can highly recommend. And yeah, that is it. So thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's move on with this build. Yup, let's go. So friends, today we are building a gardener's eco home, something like that. I said I was gonna do family homes this week, and I'm still planning on doing at least one. So if you are, or at least two, hopefully two. But so if you've been waiting for those, you've been looking forward to those. I actually started building this house with the intent of making it into, or turning it into, a family home. But when it came to making the floor plan, it just wouldn't fit. So that's why it's not a family home, just so you know. However, it's built on a 30 by 20. It's not a tiny house. And I would say the interior is, for a couple or a single sim, definitely a little bit on the bigger side. I really like how this house turned out. I scouted Pinterest. So I think I've come across this house a couple of times before, but it's just always looked like, it's always looked like a house that wouldn't necessarily translate into Sims that well, if that makes sense. Like the roofing is a little funky. Like how would you do that in The Sims? Basically, does that make sense? So I sat down the other day and I started scouting again, and I came across it, and I just thought, you know what, let's do this. Let's take on the challenge. Let's see what we can do with it. And I really liked the outcome. It was a lot of fun. I also tried to, it's mainly modern on the interior, but there's a few rustic touches here and there, such as the pillars on the exterior, also the big windows that are from Laundry Day, I think. There's also like the fridge as well is a bit on the rustic side. Obviously there's a lot of plants. Some of the plants have pots that are a bit on the rustic side as well. So it's mainly modern, but there's like few rustic touches here and there. And I really like that little combination. And the roofing was a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun to figure out, although it did require a lot of tweaking, as you can see right here. So basically, when it came to the interior and the floor plan, because I ended up adding a sunroof for the back of the build, which is ironic because the sun actually hits the front of the build, or not a sunroom, but what's it called? Skylights here, right here. I just couldn't really fit it into the floor plan, like fit another bedroom into the floor plan. Otherwise, the kitchen would have ended up being like 6 tiles max, and I feel like for the size of this house, that just would not do. So I ended up just saying, okay, we're just adding one bedroom in this house. Hopefully that is okay, but it definitely, it was supposed to have been a family home. It just turned out not to be. So this time I've made sure to save the house, the picture of the house, as a bookmark. So I'll make sure to leave a link to it in the description box if you want to see what the original house looked like. It's basically quite close to the version that I have made. Of course, I've made some adjustments to it. Also adjustments so that it would be easier to make it in The Sims. But the original house was also gray, I think, and I felt like green would fit it a little bit better because I like the green with this kind of like medium brown color. I feel like it just, the two colors complement each other very well, and also greenhouses for this kind of like gardener type sim just makes sense to me. So I ended up turning it into, or I ended up making it green, and I kind of also pulled that into the interior as well, so you'll see that once we get started on that. There's like a few touches of green here and there, but it's not the main color of the interior. It's mainly like black white with this medium brown and then also gray tones, and then just like a little bit of green. Although the kitchen counters and also the cabinets are green. I don't think I've used that swatch yet, but I like how it looks, and I also added a couple of accented walls here and there as well. So everything's just kind of just trying to tie everything together, if you will. So yeah, but another eco house. I hope you guys would like this one. It's not Scandi, just saying, but it's still modern and I had so much fun with it, so I hope you guys will like it. I was basically just chilling the other day trying to build this while also watching Arcane. So if you have played League of Legends, you might know what Arcane is. It's basically, it's a TV series, it's a new TV series that has characters that are based on champions that you can play in League of Legends. If you don't know what League of Legends is, LOL, like it's you probably heard of it if you've heard anybody say let's play LOL, that's League of Legends. I'm assuming that most of you know what it is, but yeah, I was really enjoying it actually. It's not a bad show, and I was having a good time just sitting here chilling with my series and also building this not little house, I don't know. So just having a good time, but really trying to turn this into something that would actually make sense in The Sims, because the roofing in the original or on the original house looked very strange to me for some reason. It was just like it didn't fully fit together. I think the original house also had extra stuff going on the back. I chose to ignore both the floor plan but also the back of the build, or the back of the original house. I just decided to ignore them. I felt like it didn't really fit with the skylight that I made, and also just the roofing on the back and with the windows and stuff. It just didn't make sense. Plus I think the original house actually had 3 bedrooms, but size proportions are different in The Sims. I'm pretty sure I could possibly have made this on a 40 by 30 and could have fitted 3 bedrooms into it, but I like the size that I went with instead, so 1 bedroom it is. And also I wanted to make sure that at the front of the house that there was room for proper landscaping and also a pathway leading up to the road as well. And there's not much going on in the yard, but we are also building in Windenburg in the foresty area where there's just a lot of landscaping as it is. So sometimes when I build up here, I don't feel like the houses necessarily need a backyard or a side yard or whatever, simply because there's so much nature surrounding the house. Does that make sense? So they have a few things like a little fire pit situation going on outside. They also have a pond, which is basically just an addition to the landscaping or the nature. And then they also have a couple of plant pots, obviously, with it being, or supposed to be, for a gardener like a sim. So someone who just really loves plants. But I also decided, as for the interior, when it came to plants, just to tone it down just a little bit, because I know that I've been going a little bit overboard lately. So, you know, with the plant kit that came out and stuff, you know, it's a given. You guys know me by now. I love plants. But I just wanted to tone it down just a little bit. I didn't want to overdo it for this house. And also, I don't know, I wanted the green to come out more in the small touches in the furniture instead of necessarily in the plants aspect. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm actually making any sense today. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. So, if you have been Christmas shopping already, let me know. If you have decorated already, let me know. I'm personally decorating this weekend for Christmas, just in case we celebrate Christmas. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that so much. Last year, I didn't really have a lot of space in my office to put a lot of decor, but this year I have my bookcases, and that means I have a lot of surfaces that I can put decor on, and I'm super excited for that. I did have, okay, so I don't know if I'm just a very unlucky person or if there's a bird trolling or what's going on, but I've had my fairy lights on my terrace up for the past, like, I think I bought the chain in 2019, possibly, and I didn't turn it on until Christmas time because, you know, it's a lot of electricity. I'm not paying for that anyway. And also the sun is basically only down for like 4 hours over the summer, or 5 maybe, or something. So it would just be a little bit of a waste to have them on all the time during summertime. But for Christmas time, it's good because the sun is only up for like 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. So it's amazing. It's cozy. So I decided to turn it on the other day. And literally 3 days after, I heard a noise on my terrace. I've still not investigated what's going on out there, but it sounded like something hit my window. And in the evening, the fairy lights, my light bulb chain on my terrace stopped working. What is going on? So, I don't know. It's a mystery. I'll keep you guys updated. It's not the most interesting mystery. I realize that. But what's going on? I just want my fairy lights to work. Hello? So yeah, that's my decor for now. It's broken, but that's all I have up, and it's kind of sad. But this weekend I'm decorating, so for future videos, if I'm doing anything with Facecam, there'll probably be some Christmas decor in the background, which I think is super cozy. I love Christmas so much. Like, it's just my time of the year. I don't know how to. I am the Christmas person in my family, so I'm always the one who's like in charge of everyone's Christmas presents. I know what everyone is getting for Christmas. I am the one who's like, everything has to be, well, me and my sister cook our dinner, so it's not just me, but she's not as on the same level as me. Does that make sense? Like, not with the cooking. She's a really good cook. That's not what I meant. But like, as for a love of Christmas, I am definitely a level above her. So I'm just really looking forward to it. I love this time of the year, and yeah, I'm sorry if you don't celebrate Christmas and it's super annoying to listen to, but it's always been my favorite time of the year, and I don't think I can let that go for voiceovers, so I apologize beforehand, but we're going into the time of the year for me, okay? So it's gotta be like this. I kind of needed that out of my system because I think I realized, yeah, yesterday, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, and I realized yesterday that there's only a month left. So I just had like a spark of excitement. I needed it out of my system. I hope you guys are good with that. But anyway, so we have decorated most of the interior by now. We only got the bathroom left. I kind of wanted this little room to be a storage, but also a second entrance to the house. The mailbox is actually on this. Oh, I forgot to say at the start of the build. I forgot to place down an outdoors trash can during recording, but don't worry, there is one in the uploaded version. So if you have been waiting for that, I mean, why would you be sitting here waiting for the builder to place down an outdoors trash can? But in case you have, there is one. It's just not gonna be placed in the video, but there is one, so don't worry about it. But it's right next to the mailbox. I just felt like the mailbox and the trash can fit better over on that side of the build instead of the other one, even though technically the front door is on the right side of the build. It's a little strange, I know, but we're going with it. We're taking creative liberties today, so it does not have to make sense realistic. If this house was an actual house in an actual neighborhood or in an actual forest, it probably doesn't make sense. I'm not an architect either, so there's lots of flaws with like, would this house even be standing up in real life? Probably not, but you know, I'm not an architect. So we're just taking creative liberties, and therefore I felt like it was okay to put the mailbox and also the trash can on the other side. I do realize that there are people that prefer like hyper realistic builds, but I like to walk a fine line. So it looks realistic, but it probably is not. Also, just to note, I don't think I've ever used this. Maybe I've used this wallpaper like once before, but I don't think I have. I think this is the first time, legitimately the first time that I've used this wallpaper. It just came in the correct, like in the color that I wanted, because you saw at the start, I was trying out different greens. I was trying one of the base game wallpaper. Well, this is base game too, but whatever. I was trying out one of the base game wood sidings as well. I tried out the other base game wood siding. I think the one with the thinner wood panels, that one with, if it has columns, it comes in a really nice green color, but unfortunately we don't have that swatch as a wallpaper with siding wallpaper without the columns. I don't understand why that is, but if it came in that color, it would have been perfect too. So I was looking for other wood kind of wallpapers that were green as well, and tried out the spa day one that was a little bit too light in the color. So I was scrolling through the catalog, just desperately searching for a darker green wood siding, and I came across this one. I actually think it might be the default swatch, so if it hadn't been showing automatically in my catalog, I probably would have scrolled past it, but because it's the default, I saw that it had this nice dark green swatch. So my point is, it's cool that after, when did this game come out? In 2014? It's cool that after 7 years, you can still find new swatches or new panels or new wallpapers or whatever that you've never used before that just fit your vision perfectly. Does that make sense? I thought that was pretty cool. So I think for the rest of the build, we are mainly doing landscaping, just trying to tie everything together. I always go for a mix of plants, but then I use the same plants, the same mix of plants all around the build just to add some coherence. There we go. I think it's called coherence. Anyway, just to, you know, make everything look like it fits together. We're also adding the fire pit that I mentioned earlier. I think I already added the terrace, so, you know. And then also doing a little bit more terrain paint. I really took my time with the terrain paint because I wanted to make sure that it kind of faded out into the grass as well here, instead of having this like harsh line sometimes that dirt has. It's nice. It's a stylistic choice when you have a harsh line, but I've definitely done that as well in the past. I just, for these kinds of more foresty kind of landscapings, I think I prefer the softer line, the softer blend. And I also wanted to add a path from technically the front door or the patio to the other door as well. So yeah, but you can always add more plant pots as well if you want to. I know there's only 3 of them. There's plenty of space here on the exterior to add more, especially some of the small ones. The ones that I've used are in technically debug items, or not debug items. They're hidden items. They're from Outdoor Retreat. They just look more rustic than the default ones, so I prefer those ones. So if you use that sheet, you can still find smaller ones that match these, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. But that is basically the end of this build. So it's about time that we wrap up this voiceover. If you like this build, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below. Thank you again so much to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. If you want to take advantage of their current deal, you can click on the link at the top of the description box. And that is all I got for you today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep